Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has revealed that her office is having an incredibly difficult job of just keeping up with the level of violent threats they receive, which they describe as astronomical. This is daily threats that her office has to field when they're just trying to deal with like climate change and stuff. She was being interviewed by the New York Times and told the newspaper that it took 2.5 years for her to obtain added security from the Capitol Police despite a couple of years of violent threats. She says that after the department saw a tweet it perceived as threatening, officials decided to grant her the additional protection, and she didn't understand why, saying, when I saw that, I was like, I've gotten so much worse, why now? And who knows? Maybe it was just random. Maybe finally Democratic leadership in the House decided to put some pressure on the Capitol Police. I don't know, but we're very lucky that during those first couple of years, neither she nor Ilhan Omar or any of the others had any of the deranged lunatics who focus so much on them, inspired by the daily coverage on Fox News and Ben Shapiro and his various clones. We're lucky that they weren't attacked or killed. Now, apparently, according to AOC, the aides who answer phones in her office, some of them just out of high school, often have to be the ones to decide whether to report these particular messages. Is it just a crazy troll? Is it a legitimate threat? That's the job they have to do. They wanted to get a little bit of experience working on Congress. Maybe they care about the climate or economic inequality or something, but instead they're having to listen to voicemails and calls about how they want to kill or rape AOC on a daily basis. So that's a fun job for the aides. Anyway, it's a big issue. I don't know beyond more security what can be done by the Democrats. I'm sure if they could flip a switch and have the Republicans stop inspiring their base to want to kill Democrats, they would. But as of right now, Francesca, I don't know what else can be done.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of we've seen people go up to AOC as she's walking from building to building. In the House, just like getting to meetings, we've seen her be like pretty, I would say, aggressively, if not violently, trolled. Then we've seen her be asked really thoughtful questions from grassroots organizers, and she gives she keeps walking, but she gives a really thoughtful answer. I'm someone who, as someone who likes bird dogging and following, following representatives. And asking them questions, because it's often the only time you get as someone who works in the media. I would hate for there to be tons of security to push back reporters, and that'll be its own, of course, melee. Imagine if she had her private security and the person got a little bit aggressive with someone, that would just trend on Fox. But at the same time, just in the last 6 years, are living in a wildly different time for media and for politicians and people like AOC. So she should absolutely have some big dude or woman following her around and bouncing anyone who comes too close to her, right? I mean, we're gonna talk about Kim K a little bit later. We need some of that security for AOC and others. And I can only attribute the lack of response initially to the fact that honestly, people like Pelosi, we're kind of jumping on the bandwagon, demonizing people like AOC and Ilhan Omar in the early days of their time in Congress. And I'm not saying that they were okay with the death threats, but they certainly were not concerned.
Yeah, they didn't seem overly concerned. That's 100% true. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, I don't know. We just have to hope that no one acts on it, that her security, that people investigate these crazy people, and we have to hope that Donald Trump's next bleat isn't talking about how AOC has a death wish,
right?
Or whatever. Or when Tucker Carlson does a monologue to millions of fans saying that AOC has put out an invitation to a booty call or something, we're supposed to pretend that that's not an attempt to inspire sexual violence against her. And all of this is legal. They can just keep doing it, and the trolls can fall around and talk about specific parts of her body and get paid off of that and get views and everything and be brought on to actual other Congress people's shows. And we're just supposed to pretend that that's perfectly fine. And hopefully nothing will happen. That's what we're supposed to do. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell
wherever it is so you don't miss anything.